Hello, it's nice to have you join us for another edition of Newsline. I am Jennifer Igwe. 4 years and 42 days and justice is delivered. This judgment has given hope to many that although some cases may delay, justice gets served eventually. On my lineup is the long-awaited case of the Dane accused of killing his wife and daughter in Lagos. Meanwhile, in spite of increasing awareness and prosecutions, domestic violence is on the increase. And even though it can be against men, children, and others within the household, women are usually top on the list of victims. Why is this so? What can be done to tame the ugly trend of domestic violence? Stay tuned for a feature on this. Then, have you noticed that women are usually more excited about weddings? Is it because we read too many romantic novels that make us daydream of Mr. Handsome with certain features and grand wedding tales? Or our desire for assured commitment? Okay, our correspondent has answers. We also have on cue our social diary on what brands are up to, wedding bells, plus a rare medical condition that will give you goosebumps. Yes. But first, the news segment, and Elizabeth Omori is on standby in Abuja. Hello, Lizzie. Nice to see you.
Hello, Jennifer. It's so good to see you as well. And I can't really wait for that report on women loving weddings. Well, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says he will use his wealth of experience to move the country forward if given the mandate in 2023 general elections. He made the pledge during his visit to Katsina State to meet with delegates of the All Progressives Congress APC in the state ahead of the forthcoming presidential primary of the party later in the month. Howard Halil reports.
The Vice President arrived at Katsina to speak with delegates of the APC on his aspiration to be the flag bearer of the party in the forthcoming general elections. At the banquet hall of the Government House, the Vice President met with the delegates behind closed doors. After the consultation, he proceeded to the palace of Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, where he paid homage. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said he has put himself forward to serve as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and promised to use his experience as someone who had acted as President in moving the country forward if elected in 2023 elections.
Acted as president. During that period, the president has exposed me to all that there is to know about governing a complex and diverse country such as ours. I would want to say that I have learned there's considerable experience, and the key issues that concern our country today, issues of security, issues of the economy, are issues that I believe we can do very well and that I am in a position to do quite a lot on. For the reason that I know exactly what the problems are today.
The Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, expressed confidence in the ability of the Vice President to lead the affairs of the country. In Katsina, Awal Halaru, NTA News.
The VP was also in Kebbi and Kaduna states today as part of his consultations ahead of the party's primaries. Details will come subsequently. Still in consultations, presidential aspirants under the platform of the All Progressives Congress have been visiting delegates across the states of the Federation. Here is a compilation of their visits. The president of the Senate in one of the APC presidential aspirants, Mohammed Ibrahim Lawan, says Nigeria has witnessed unprecedented development under the administration of the All Progressives Congress in the last 7 years. Mohammed Askira reports that he stated this while persuading party delegates for their support in the forthcoming APC presidential primary election in Dutse, Jigawa State.
For us in APC, what matters is how we are able to continue to deliver services to the people of Nigeria.
And as the party primary elections draw near, the president of the Senate also visited Kano State.
I believe that what we have before us is to commit ourselves to the ideals of our party, that the most ordinary citizen of this country does not become disadvantaged.
Meanwhile, Senator Lawan has refuted reports that he has withdrawn from the presidential race to pursue another term in office. The All Progressives Congress delegates in Gombe and Kwara states have described the presidential aspirant Chibuike Rotimi as an epitome of courage and hard work, which are qualities needed to move Nigeria forward.
Get the assurance that I understand the pain of poverty. Get the assurance that I've been my wealth of experience to bear.
Look at his vision, what he has been able to do. Just in the Oyo section, which is being financed under the Sukuk loan, will be done with.
In the same vein, former governor of Lagos State and presidential aspirant of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has pledged to restore the hope and dreams of an elder statesman who fought for the rights of minority groups in the country. He gave the assurance during his visit to Benue State to interface with delegates ahead of the party's primaries.
Across the country, we will be with you. We will walk with you. We will move this nation united together.
In Abuja. Similarly, the chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum, governor of Ekiti State and presidential hopeful of the All Progressives Congress APC, Dr. John Fayemi led his consultation delegation to Benue State with a call to unite for a better and more prosperous Nigeria. Details will come subsequently. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Iyorchia Ayu, has assured Nigerians of H3 2023 general elections. He gave assurance when he received a delegation from the European Union at the party's headquarters in Abuja. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Iyorchia Ayu, is optimistic that the party would have a free and fair 2023 general elections in line with the hope of other Nigerians. This was during a meeting with a delegation of the European Union at the national headquarters of the party in Abuja.
In particular in view of the next elections, and I would like to reaffirm our support to Nigeria's democracy, and we continue to work together with all the institutions and with all the stakeholders that are involved.
As it is in the tradition of this party, we want our convention to be very transparent, to provide a fair and open field to everybody of all our 15 presidential aspirants.
Ogedinye reports that Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike was also in Abia State to solicit support ahead of the party's presidential primary this month.
Take what will make PDP to win an election. I'm the only one among the aspirants.
In Abuja. Anyway, from consultations, the people of Anambra State have cried out over what they described as alarming rates of insecurity, which according to them has assumed dangerous dimension. The outcry is coming on the heels of the kidnapping murder of a sitting lawmaker representing Aguta 2 constituency at the State House of Assembly, Okechukwu Okoye. Chinye Okoye has more.
The people of Anambra State ended last Saturday with the ugly news of death of a serving lawmaker, Okechukwu Okoye, representing Aguata 2 State constituency. First was the news of his kidnap with his personal aide, Cyril Chibuike,
on the 15th of this month along Agoluzibo Umona axis. And as his family members and indeed others were waiting for his release, then the sad news of his gruesome murder filtered in. While his head was found at a motor park in Amici, his headless body was found along Idemili axis. This development has since increased the level of fear and apprehension in the minds of many.
It's a very sad development in the southeast. But as it stands now, we must have to go back to God.
Plan your life and where you're going on, let your family member know where you're going. So this is not the time for one to say, I want to go and enjoy myself. No. You're in a serious situation.
Family members of a slain lawmaker could not be traced as his Opuno Oka residence has been deserted. The Commissioner of Police, Anambra State Command, Echeng Iwo Echeng, has vowed to bring perpetrators to book while pledging the command's commitment to maximum policing. Meanwhile, the state lawmakers who are mourning the loss convened emergency meeting of the whole house to chart the way forward in ensuring security for house members. Anambra State government has pledged a 10 million naira reward for useful information on the development while promising a peaceful and safer Anambra.
Let's all continue to hope that tranquility, peace and safety will return to our state.
Okechukwu Okoye, popularly known as Okedioke, until his gruesome murder, was the chairman House of Assembly Committee on Information. He is survived by a wife and 3 children.
According to the people, no one knows who will be next victim of this trend of insecurity. Religious leaders have also taken the matter to God in prayer, seeking divine intervention. The state government has assured the people of maximum security. However, the people are asking governments and indeed relevant agencies to match words with positive actions to calm nerves and to restore confidence. From the State House of Assembly complex in Oka, Chinyerukwe.
In other news, a cross-state regional workshop to facilitate knowledge sharing and learning among civil society organizations that will translate to a positive change has been held in Lagos. Ani Daniels reports that it was facilitated by the European Union and British Council.
In this hall are civil society organization members from Rivers and Plateau states. This workshop, under the name Agents for Citizen-Driven Transformation, is a platform to identify challenges, exchange ideas, proffer solutions to such challenges in each of those states and, by extension, other states of the Federation.
The selection was purely based on civil society organizations working on all EU thematic areas, and that includes health, education, resilience, climate change, nutrition, water and sanitation, education, and the like. So yes, we cut across a lot of thematic areas.
Already, Nabang has made a relative success in discouraging the spread of suits in Rivers State. So also how other colleagues from Plateau State
have been able to work with the government of the state to pass laws. We have been able to design and pass laws. These are the laws that will impact on not only one person, but the whole state in general and even Nigeria.
It has taken its time to make us understand that whatever we do, we have to have media engagement, social media engagement, to be able to disseminate effective information to not only the communities that we serve, but also the government and different stakeholders.
We are now better placed to deliver on our mandate to make active citizens of young people.
With trainings like this one and media collaboration, these Nigerians are optimistic that better fits will be achieved. In Lagos, Ani Daniels, NTA News.
The federal government has approved the appointment of Anamekwe Chukwumir Mwakboko to oversee the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation following the ongoing investigation by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, of the Accountant General of the Federation for financial impropriety. In a letter dated 20th of May 2022 and signed by Ali Ahmed, Permanent Secretary Finance, Federal Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning. The appointment is pending the outcome of the investigation. In this position, Mr. Anamekwe is expected to carry out his duty in strict compliance with extant rules and observe the highest sense of professionalism expected of an officer working at his level. According to a statement by the Special Advisor, Media and Communications to the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Yunus Tanko Abdullahi, Anamekwe until this change is the Director, Inspectorate Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. He is a Fellow Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Fellow Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, and member of Nigeria Institute of Management. An affordable capital without the pressure of insurance charged on loan is needed to address poverty and drive the growth of the non-oil sector in the country. This is the clarion call of Islamic finance professionals at an outreach on the potential of Islamic finance for sustainable development. Musa Abubakar reports.
Islamic finance is an option small and medium enterprises can take advantage to access capital, but there's reservation about it amongst most people. This is because the common perception it is meant for Muslims only.
This is an economic activity. Everybody is involved in economic activity. You can't monopolize economic activity.
Nana Usman Bature is one in many who had little understanding of the known interest finance.
I have been hearing about it, but I have never attended any program.
This outreach by Islamic finance professionals was to help people understand that Islamic finance is for all and remains a veritable tool to drive diversification of the economy.
Islamic finance is an option, especially if we can have Bank of Industry and Nexim Bank that can come and raise funds through Islamic finance and also channel these funds in line with it to the small and medium enterprise. It will have a positive impact and will change the dynamics of our economy.
While Islamic finance forbids interest, it assumes a share of the profits and losses of the enterprise.
It's only when profits are made that even the customer expects to go with anything, and if nothing comes, they bear it. They know that is the nature of. But you find out some other financial institutions promising.
When I go back, I will also encourage people to key in to non-interest finance.
The professionals here believe that the continuous enlightenment will empower Nana Usman Bature and many take advantage of the opportunities abound in Islamic finance. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Anyway, from financial matters, the week-long study tour program by participants of the Senior Executive Course 44, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, called to Ogun State has ended. The tour offered the participants the opportunity to interact with Ogun State heads of ministries, agencies and parastatals during the climax of the program. Lekun Agmonde reports.
Interacting with participants of Senior Executive Course 44 NIPS on the State Education Revitalization Agenda Roadmap tagged Oxera, the State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Aribabu, says the intention is to improve teaching and learning in the state.
We have digitalized the entire structure, digitalizing the process of the transfer of learners from one school to the other. All public procurement is now done, online, and we publish details of contracts that are issued.
They will come up with the solutions and recommendations to the government, and they will present it to Mr. President in Council.
To show appreciation for choosing Ogun State for their study tour program, the state government organized a cocktail dinner where the participants appreciated the state governor, Dapo Abiodun, for the warm reception. The delegation later visited Olumọ Rock and Clinton Dire Kampala markets. We took Abeokuta for sightseeing. In Abeokuta, Lekun Agmonde, NTA News.
And that report ends the news segment. More to come with Jennifer. Just stay with us.
Welcome back. Now we'll start with a bulldozer operator doing his job at an age most people will be sitting at home and thinking of pains. Now, the expression that age is just a number can best be described with the likes of 70-year-old Umaru Dandiga, who for close to 50 years now has been operating a bulldozer to construct dams and feeder roads. You know what? He's not thinking of retiring soon, and Muhammad Abubakar in Benin Kebbi, the capital of Kebbi State, recently came across this man who, in all honesty, is what can best be described as an epitome of hard work and commitment.
Close to 50 years now, engagement like this has consistently been the main preoccupation of Dandiga, be it in Sokoto, Katsina, Jigawa, Niger Republic, and most importantly, Kebbi State, where he is based. To passers-by and other admirers alike, the dexterity he exhibits anytime he is operating the bulldozer in any road or dam construction is so captivating that he is often mistaken to be a person in his late 20s doing that. At what point in time of his life has Dandiga learned bulldozer operating?
Na koyi aiki 1975 UAC Kaduna.
I learned bulldozer operating at UAC Kaduna in 1975 under the tutelage of Europeans and their Nigerian Igbo counterpart. After graduating, I reported to Sokoto, where I began the task of road and dam construction.
He shared with NTA some of his most cherished moments as a bulldozer operator.
One of the most memorable moments for me as far as this job is concerned was the day when, after retiring from service, having spent 35 years, I got my entitlement and used some to pay for Hajj operation. That year, courtesy of the job, I trained all my 12 children to acquire Western education.
Considering the fact that age is not on his side, is Dandiga thinking of retiring anytime soon?
Well, what I wish, hope and pray is that so long as I am healthy and alive, I don't think I can retire. I will rather struggle to get my needs myself than to rely for handouts.
How many people has Dandiga mentored so far? To take over from him is one question NTA found irresistible to ask.
To be honest with you, I have lost count of the number of trainees I had. Even the first trainee I had in Gumi, now Sokoto State, in 1983, himself have trained a lot of operators.
Some of those he is mentoring share with NTA their experience.
As a trainee under Alhaji Umaru Dandiga, I must confess to you that he is giving his all to me as far as learning is concerned. I am into bulldozer operating to fend for myself and God under me. I can confidently tell you that I can now operate a bulldozer. I actually lack the word to thank Alhaji Umar Dandiga for coaching me how to operate this machine. I am learning something that will help me fend for myself. The Alhaji himself, who is over 70 years and still gainfully employed, is a reason for me to go that way.
Now, didn't they say age is nothing but numbers? Now, see how fit he is doing the kind of job some young people may not find interesting. Well done. Now, this next story is of a young boy, Yunusa Abubakar, who got separated from his parents in a puzzling circumstance in Gobi State. Gombe State. He slept in a truck in Gombe and woke up in Maiduguri, Borno State capital, where he smartly survived for 2 months before help came his way through a good Samaritan and the efforts of NTA staff. Mohammed Ibrahim has a story on the emotional reunion of Yunusa with his parents.
The fate of separation or missing person for 2 months befell Yunus Abubakar, 13 years old, who was living with his parents at London Orowa ward of Gombe Town, the headquarters of Gombe State, Nigeria. The unfortunate episode, according to the young boy, sounding funny but true, started while playing with friends inside a truck parked in their neighborhood, where he fell asleep and was left behind by his playmates. Unknown to young Yunus Abubakar, the truck drove off with him inside until the conductor found and reported him to the driver in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, which is over 300 kilometers away from home. He was dropped off at West End roundabout in Maiduguri. Lost in the city, his survival instincts were triggered, which saw him joining some Al-Majiri students of Islamic school, and upon inquiry by a Good Samaritan, retired Inspector of Police John Waba, he told his story, and Mr. John took him in to stay with his family.
CLM Slab police station nearby to him to carry this boy. He didn't. He went away. So from there, I saw this boy was going around. That is the place where I know this boy. From there, I tell the boy that I will carry you to NTA.
Details of missing Yunus Abubakar was conveyed to an NTA Gombe staff, who contacted the village head of his home in Gombe Town, and behold, his father was found, and he came to Maiduguri with the boy's photo and birth certificate as evidence.
Ai muna jin ba daɗi sosai, amma tun da aka ce gashi labarinsa, to farin ciki ya shige mu sosai. Har Allah sa tun jiya nake hanya ma jiya war haka ma ban taso ba. To na zo na kwana Fatasku da safen nan na sake shigo mota yanzu na zo nan garin.
Yunus Abubakar and father were full of gratitude to the retired but not tired Inspector John Waba and the NTA for reuniting them.
Emotional indeed. But hey, parents, please, where are your kids right now? Kindly keep a tab on them. Now to the Dane accused of killing his wife and daughter. When domestic violence leads to the death of a spouse, the law is expected to come down heavily on the perpetrator regardless of the sex, race, or color. Sometimes justice can appear far in between, but the long wait to receive it often pays off. Such was the scenario of a family whose daughter and granddaughter were consumed by domestic violence said to have been perpetrated by an expatriate in Lagos. Did the family get justice eventually? Musa Toliat will tell us the full story of this gruesome case of domestic violence described as one too many.
Was loved across borders. Peter Nelson from Denmark and Zainab Ali, a Nigerian artist with the stage name Ali Z. Their love blossomed and the union was blessed with a pretty girl they named Petra. They lived as one happy family, or so it appeared, until Peter became abusive and activated domestic violence in their home.
When she came to Abuja for that very fight, said she don't want the marriage again, that she don't want somebody, a husband that will be fighting the wife like that. We told her and said, look, so far he pleaded is under alcohol, forgive him, go back. That's what we did, we settled between two of them.
Sadly, on April 5th, 2018, Zainab Ali Nelson did not live to tell the story of another domestic violence in her home. Her daughter was also not spared. In spite of an attempt by Peter to cover up his tracks, the gruesome murder of Zainab did not go unnoticed.
So he was beaten up. He put her on the floor and used a white blanket to cover her face, and he was pressing her neck. behind the door. And she was telling, baby, I can show you my phone since that's what you want.
Forensic evidence gathered by Lagos State government also revealed that Peter Nielsen actually killed his wife and daughter. The stage was set for his murder trial, but there were concerns if diplomatic relations between Nigeria and Denmark will not deny the family justice.
Mercy is going to be tried within the ambit of the law, and it's going to be in this country.
After 4 years and 42 days of consistent murder trial, Justice Bolanle Okikiolu Igile of the High Court of Lagos State delivered a 6-hour landmark judgment, and death by hanging was what the Dane Peter Nielsen brought upon himself.
Justice has been served. This will deter others from perpetrating any heinous crime. It will also show that no matter how highly placed one is, that the law is no respecter of persons.
It was evident that when the arrow of truth shoots, there will be no trace of any lie. So we're excited today that the defendant is going to die by hanging.
Nigeria's criminal justice system once again stood to be counted.
I want to thank the judiciary. The Nigerian judiciary shows that a common man can get a result from the court. The court have shown that the Nigerian judiciary, they are also a standard judiciary that can stand for any case.
Our justice system is working. So please, don't come in here and think you will commit a crime and get away with it. The justice has been served. We are so happy right now.
Those who think that Nigerian judges do shoddy jobs have now seen that Nigerian judges can be very thorough.
The long-awaited justice kept late Zainab and daughter in the morgue since 2018. As this murder case comes to a logical conclusion, the takeaway for everyone is that early signs of domestic violence should not be ignored so that sorry stories will not be told.
Women, please speak up. Men too. I know domestic violence is not just women alone. Wedlock is not padlock. Please speak up. Speak up whenever you... And of course, get help.
Yes, speak up. Wedlock is not padlock. I like that line. Now, many have been waiting and watching, hoping for this judgment. So finally, we'll say, may the soul of that star that was cut short and her daughter rest in peace. The recent surge in domestic violence in different parts of the country is leading debates in many frontiers. One of the latest victims and popular gospel singers, Osinachi Nwachukwu's case, has left many available space in the media open for reports of endless brutality of the female folks. How is the change in approach by stakeholders in tackling domestic assault faring, particularly the growing cases of social disorder at the smallest unit of society, the family? Ngozi Teknikio has answers.
The wedding day is usually memorable for the bride and groom. The atmosphere filled with a feeling of unending love that inspires many more to toast back, and the family is blessed with the hope of living happily ever after for the lovebirds. Sadly though, the expected joy and happiness in these small units of the society can be short-lived due to conflicting interests, often leading to domestic violence. With the growing cases of domestic violence over the years in Nigeria, many ask, how did it get so bad?
When a boy is taught that he's superior over his sister, he beats his mother and she says, no, it's okay because he's a boy, he's my son, or she's a girl, no, she's supposed to be in the kitchen and take up responsibilities and endure whatever hardship she goes through. Why a boy is supposed to be pampered and respected?
It's lack of understanding that is actually causing domestic violence. And another aspect of it is also lack of training.
With the coming of coronavirus, we all know that so many people lost their jobs, men inclusive, and if a man feels that he's not meeting up to his responsibilities in the family, most of the time I have observed that people do not have emotional intelligence to know how to go about handling such.
The survey of the gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu. The media space has been greeted with several other cases of domestic violence. Mercy Samuel from Plateau State is among such unfortunate victims of domestic violence. There are more than 5,000 reported cases of domestic violence in Nigeria, and the number keeps rising. This raises questions about laws.
There are laws in Nigeria that speak against spousal abuse. One of it is the VAP Act. The issue we have in Nigeria is not the lack of laws to address some of these issues. The issues that we have is the issue of implementation.
As the first step to ensuring that we did this to an end, I would initiate a conversation with the Honorable Minister of Interior to ensure that psychiatric test cases are made compulsory as part of marriage requirements in the country.
Domestic violence takes different dimensions, and it is no respecter of gender, depending on who is stronger physically, emotionally, and sometimes financially.
Families are crying in and out, losing their loved one from brutality of one to the other. Society is devastated. It's like a normal norm. People are doing it with impunity because nobody has been harmed, nobody has been killed, nobody has been announced life imprisonment.
Sometimes you give your partner a test when you are cutting and see how will it react.
Okay, I think that part of that test will work. It's good to do that. And domestic violence has destroyed many families. We need to check it. Meanwhile, before now, many parents in contemporary societies attached much attention to the training of the girl child, leaving the boy to probably train and fend for himself. Arising from the recent celebration of International Day of the Boy Child, correspondent Nsikak Okun went round Uyo Metropolis to sample opinions on how best to train the boy child vis-a-vis contemporary challenges this gender faces.
May 16 every year is set aside globally to mark the International Day of the Boy Child, to raise awareness on the need to protect boys from harmful societal influences. As the world witnesses increase in crime mostly committed by the boy child, analysts attribute the trend where boys are found to be major perpetrators of these criminal acts as negligence on the side of parents, not paying adequate attention to the boy child.
I want my parents to celebrate me. If they celebrate me, I'll put more effort.
I want to be a good
I want my parents to support me how they are supporting the girls and teach me how they are teaching the girls.
But can gender equality be achieved if the boy child remains neglected?
I should advise parents to give out the same training they are giving to the girls' child, like how to cook, how to take care of the house, how to do everything decent.
The parents in their submissions on the issue may just be the way to go out of the wrong societal influences upon the boy child.
As fathers, we should begin to instill discipline. We should begin to instill strength, and most importantly, we should begin to instill self-restraint and control on our boy children.
Parents should be supporting boys' child like they are doing to girls, so that our society will be better. Don't be selective.
The parents have not been doing what they're supposed to do or what they ought to do in terms of bringing them up. You know, looking at the self education, they put more interest on that of ladies or girls per se. So they tend to teach the girls what they ought to know while growing up when it comes to self education. So they leave the boys outside, allowing those boys to go to the society and allow the society to teach them what they ought not to know.
You can say it is different stroke for different folks, and you may not be wrong.
I expect our boys to be brilliant, hardworking, intelligent. With that, they can make the society to be a good place. It will feel really bad because it's not everything that the girls are taught that the boys need to also learn. There are some things that
is only meant for the girls, and it's not everything that is meant for the boys. They should teach me and raise me up in a godly way.
Parents are not really training the boys' child the way they focus on the female. They just allow them to roam about the streets, do nothing, and just there.
The consensus drawn from a wide range of thoughts shows the needs for harmonious relationship between parents and children and taking full responsibilities where it matters.
Okay, the way they train girls to cook, sit properly, talk, react, I think they should also invest that kind of training for boys and teach them how to maybe relate to women and behave when they are angry so that they don't end up beating up their wives. Important suggestion. We'll take a break now. Newsline continues shortly. Welcome back. Now, he steered the ship of the leading indigenous independent oil and gas company as the pioneer board chairman for 13 years, opening new frontiers that facilitated growth of the oil and gas firm with landmark achievements. Abolade Salami in this report will tell us about ABC Ojako, an achiever who brought about change in the business of oil and gas in Nigeria through Seplat Energy PLC. ABC Ojako has passed the baton of leadership to his successor, Basil Omeyi, an expert with over 40 years experience in the energy industry.
Since inception in 2009, Seplat Energy PLC has positioned itself as an energy company poised to lead in the industry. The world-class energy transition organization has continued to break new grounds through acquisitions of OMLs 4, 38 and 41 in the year 2010, being first of its kind acquired from a leading IOCs by an indigenous company. This, however, was among many other acquisitions, transactions and recovery made to sustain its leadership role in oil and gas and energy business in Nigeria.
We pulled the bull by the horn and we are determined to achieve all of it. So we followed it. One of the things that you will find that Seplat did very well was to have really the right values to be able to deliver on this. So when we have these people that we put together, then we put our core values from inception. We make sure that we have the right core values.
The pioneer chairman in a media parley noted that Seplat Energy PLC, through its plans to drive energy transition towards accessible, affordable and reliable energy, mapped out 3 pillars of operations including upstream business, midstream and renewable business as crucial to promoting national development. He noted that Seplat Energy PLC is handling with utmost concern the need to end the routine flaring of carbon dioxide emissions by 2024, 6 years ahead of government's target on the policy.
That acquisition has really demonstrated who Seplat really is. It's going to be a demonstration that Seplat has come of age. It's going to be a demonstration that the international investing community have confidence in Seplat. It's also going to create an opportunity for Nigerians, because once Seplat gets any assets or gets anything, any Nigerian can become an owner. So that's why we're a public company. So for me, the legacies are there, but more importantly, the people, the high points of our growth is that latest addition in our acquisition.
In sustaining the policy trust of the indigenous independent oil and gas company to lead Nigeria's energy transition through development of gas and renewable energies, the new chairman, Basil Omeyi, said he will pursue vigorously the successful completion of major acquisitions that will transform the operations of the company to an IOC level.
Recently, we proposed our company to be an energy company offering beyond oil and gas to renewables and so on, and having committed to new midstream company that will come on stream by the end of the year. The work of delivery cut out for us is out there. and the board is fully aligned and committed to this. And that's the first thing we'll be doing, translating all the dreams we had into taking on this huge new asset and taking our company to IOC type level and then creating value for Nigerians.
Meanwhile, upon completion of the transformational corporate acquisition of the entire share capital of Mobile Producing Company Unlimited, Seplat Energy PLC will be one of the largest independent energy companies listed on both London and the Nigerian stock exchanges.
Now, one of life's most pertinent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? For the Nigerian Television Authority, answer to this pertinent interrogation is in the direction of significant humanitarian strides under the leadership of its Director General Yakubu Ibn Mohammed. Batu Wamila tells us about Radiant Africa Times at its maiden public lecture and awards in Abuja took cognizance of this.
At the end of every news bulletin, NTA firmly projects this message against violators. It is an adamant signal of its fight against human rights violation in the country. Apparently, what's in the talk for the largest TV network in Africa has not gone unnoticed. The Radiant African Times, in collaboration with the National Human Rights Commission and Nigerian Union of Journalists, are appreciative of this campaign and so honoring the Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, with the humanitarian award seems appropriate. Receiving the award on his behalf is the General Manager, NTA News 24, Abuja, Fatima Abbas Hassan.
Congratulations. Stand up, all the damn freedom, stand up.
The Director General has received several awards, but I think this is one award that will continue to go down, to be relevant for a long time to come because of what it stands for. It's an award for humanitarian service. It's an acknowledgement of the little effort that my DG is making in executing the mission of the NTA, which is to provide excellent television service worldwide and project the true African perspective.
This is actually the first award I'll be receiving as a journalist, and my over 14 years in journalism. I'm just to know that the work I do is being observed and that people are noticing and that people appreciate what I do.
The advocacy for human rights was louder and clearer. More significantly, we insist in safeguarding the rights of journalists as they risk it all to tell stories at the expense of their lives.
Some of the time, Nigeria's media, we have been attacked so much. We have been blamed for some of the problems that make this issue of insecurity linger, especially where Nigerian image is involved. So we now take a look at this Radiant Africa Times as a platform that actually focus on issue of human rights.
Journalists are always open to dangers, especially in times like this of insecurity. And take the Northeast for example. Journalists are there covering events and anything can happen. So in the event of anything happening, what they can do to protect themselves, because it is only when the journalists are alive that they can do their jobs.
Though media business took center stage, the place for entertainment could not be displaced. Above all, we believe the stance against violation is a win for posterity.
The Nigerian Television Authority will continue to give quality programming and news, and importantly support initiatives that will create awareness for common good. It was a day of great joy for the Osawe and Ogbaudu family as they became united through the marriage of their children, Ame and Felix. Church of the Epiphany Anglican Communion, Abuja, was the venue as the couple tied the nuptial knots. Ekene Ndule was there.
These vows bear witness to the beginning of a lifetime journey for young Amen and his betrothed Felix. They have been friends since their primary school days, and now they become one in marriage. For the officiating priest, the couple must build and nurture their home with the fear of God for their marriage to overcome all challenges.
God has given you Amen to build her, to nurture her like you would a garden.
It is a feeling of mutual admiration as the couple explain their attraction each to the other.
Straightforward person. His gestures, they're something that are actually very beautiful.
She's pretty. She's nice. She's truth.
At the reception, guests were treated to moments of bliss, glamour, and laughter. And it all comes down to pieces of advice and prayers from parents of the couple, whose joy were palpable.
God will make them click together as one.
God will bless them the fruit of the womb and give them the grace to bring up the children in the way of the Lord.
They must read the Bible together and remember what the scripture says.
They should be able to accommodate and forgive.
The NTA family was well represented in felicitation with father of the bride, Musa Osawe, the former director engineering.
A lot of us are here to rejoice with him because, as we all know, wedding is a good thing.
My prayer for them is to God to bless them immediately, to give them the fruit of the womb.
Congratulations to the new couple. Time for a break. We'll be back. Welcome back. Shortly after Annie Daniels covered the album launch of Nigerian musical twins, she heard one of them had passed on. Shocked at the news of her demise, Annie sought to know the cause of death. I was told it was an ailment not so popular but serious. Annie is set to educate us.
Fingers swell, you have itching around your body, you have rashes, your hair fall off. Yes, your hair fall off, it peels, your joints are really stiff. Like for me, my joints were so stiff that if I straighten my hands or my knee, I bleed. It cuts and I bleed. You know, these symptoms are really severe. If you don't know on time, you'll be treating malaria or typhoid.
A friend was even sharing with me that she even went far that she was eating this assay, they call it assay, Bosuka to herbalist, you know, because nothing, you know, it comes out like malaria, fever, awful, weakness, tiredness. As light as my bed sheet, sometimes I can't hold it because my fingers are reddish and painful. Sometimes you're on the bed, you want to wee and you are just there, except if someone helps you out. You need to have a spouse that understands what you are going through. Because if he doesn't understand, he won't. Because lupus is everyday thing.
Lupus sufferers there, whose pathetic stories kept me on my toes.
I still couldn't wrap my head around the nature of lupus.
They said it was spiritual. They said I'd done something. Some even said it was HIV. But you know, I'd run all the tests. They said it was TB. I was even being treated for TB. You know, I'd run all these tests and it just all came out negative. It affected my kidneys. They called it lymphitis, lupus lymphitis.
We couldn't even confirm, you know, that really diagnose what was happening until after 4 years. I had to do some tests at Part Care and it was detected that it was SLE, that's it, semi-lupus erythromyces, that's lupus. So I've been on drugs since and I'm doing well with the drugs. But one thing I've noticed about lupus is that you don't stress. The sunlight too is not too good for us.
Malaria, a very popular health condition, has remained a threat to humans. Little wonder people, even medical experts, mistake lupus for it.
I mean, nobody treats malaria and typhoid every 3 weeks. That's unusual. So once we see that, for instance, you know, that creates we need to have a high index of suspicion.
The cells, especially the white cell, are fighting against the body, not recognizing that they are part of the body.
Have a young woman in childbearing age, you don't know what it is, think lupus until you prove it is not lupus. That way, you're better off. If we can diagnose them and pick them up early, then we can intervene. They can receive treatment early. Now you get people who are coming and their kidneys are already affected. They have to have dialysis, you know. So these are some of the many reasons why we want to increase awareness for lupus.
Lupus, health experts say, can affect a person's mind and reproductive health.
It can affect their costs, their relationship with people, their sexuality, and even their self-esteem. And in a society where things people don't understand are stigmatized, they'll get a lot of stigmatization from the public.
What is happening is that lupus has no known cause, is not curable, and management is cost intensive.
Our mission and vision is to see a situation where lupus patients are offered a better quality of life, and there is education and advocacy concerning lupus.
For the survivors of lupus, they have to live on drugs all their lives. I'm sure nobody prays to experience that. Bear out, these health experts say, is proper diagnosis.
Now, more scary is the fact that research shows that no 2 cases of lupus is the same. Scary, right? Now to culture. The unique culture of the Birom people in Plateau State was displayed at this year's annual Nzembirom Cultural Festival, celebrated to usher in the rainy season with high expectation of bumper harvest. Biliki Sunuhu, who captured the event for Newsline, reports that it had celebrating the Birom and politics as its theme.
Annual Nzembirom Cultural Festival is the grand finale of various festivals held at various districts to herald the rainy season where prayers are offered for bumper harvest. This year's festival drew sons and daughters of the land from within and outside the country. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, represented, and Governor Simon Lalong say the event demonstrates a unifying factor that will not only unite Plateau State but Nigeria through its rich cultural heritage.
The culture of it's important that we look back at the contribution of the many political heavyweights who labored to bring the nation and the Plateau State to political limelight.
Bongom Josda Jacob Gang Buba says the festival, which serves as an avenue to usher the rainy season, has not been fully achieved because most farming communities are affected by insecurity. They appeal to the federal government to be proactive at ensuring that peace and security is restored and economic activities thrive.
we have a lot to offer Nigeria in terms of culture and tradition.
We brought in the kids, we brought in the middle level youths, and then the high level youths, and all. We will all roll them into one to transmit this culture into them.
Been it this time has shown that yes, we've been able to overcome a lot of our sentiments, and has agreed that peaceful coexistence is the key.
I'm appealing to the diaspora, the cultural tradition, the rulers, the colors, the people, the friendship. It's amazing.
There were various displays, dances, and exhibition of the rich culture of the Biron people and other communities.
Now, the start of the rainy season is important for farmers. So just like the Biron people, many cultures have ways they celebrate it. Time for another break. We'll be back. Welcome back. A fallen hero represents the character of patriotism and honor. Nations like Nigeria and some others who have fought many battles to keep their countries free from threats of terror stand tall and proud with such heroes who played their parts in upholding their territories. Former Chief of Army Staff, late Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, fits into this category, and this is the reason why a book was unveiled in his honor in Abuja to mark his one-year memorial. Batu Amila tells us more.
And to respond the insecurity the country is in, and that the nation look forward to them rapid relief.
A moment of pride with a sense of responsibility was the feeling here as President Muhammadu Buhari in January 2021 appointed service chiefs. One of them was the then Nigerian 21st Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, who died in an air crash in Kaduna on May 21st, 2021, alongside 10 other senior officers and men. For the nation, the armed forces, and particularly his family and friends, it was like a dark cloud of uncertainty and grief. 1 year on after his demise, his wife, Fati Atahiru, is unveiling a book and foundation to immortalize his name in memorial of his legacy as a father and husband. The book, The Man, the Soldier, the Patriot, is about the ideals and principles of late Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru.
Through the impact this foundation intends to make. Yes, the General Ibrahim Atahiru Foundation was born out of the need to uproot his ideals and principles, but more importantly, from a creative goal and young Nigerians to have the will to proudly serve their country with all their might like he did.
Gathered in the honor of the 21st Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, our family, friends, and top brass of the military in an evening of mixed emotions.
From there I knew you. With every opportunity to pray. I'm happy to be part of this initiative, which has been positively and psychologically.
Oluwatoyin Olayinka is one of the widows of the 10 soldiers who passed on alongside the late Chief of Army Staff. She expresses the downside of the tragedy and how life has been.
I don't have the words to describe it, but it's been traumatic. It's been painful. It's devastating. You don't have the right words. People tell you, oh, you get over it. It's the pain, it's the pace. But honestly, until you're there, you won't know. It's been horrible. But no, I keep telling my people, I give God the glory.
impact of heroes never die. They live on long after they've gone the ways of their fathers. Now with that, we'll end this edition of Newsline today. Thank you for being a part of it. Join us again Sunday next week. And don't forget that the fastest and easiest way to becoming a star is to connect with the NTA to stand against rape and rapists. Thank you once again. I am Jennifer Igwe. Good night and God bless Nigeria.